A company like Pixar really needs no introduction. For almost 25 years, they've been making not just some of the best animated movies, but some of the best movies in general. They've given us characters that resonate on nearly every level, whether emotionally or intellectually, and even looking back now as a 29-year-old adult, I can still feel a sense of wonder and mystery about the world that we all had when we were kids. This is what made Pixar movies so magical. Watching the original Toy Story as a kid, I enjoyed it because, it was about a kid who played with toys and, what happens when you're not around. I mean, every kid who watches Toy Story goes home and tries to catch their toys moving when they think the coast is clear. At my age now, Toy Story is more of an allegory for the life I left behind, the world I can never go back to. I used to relate to Andy, the little kid who lost his favorite toys, but now I see myself as the adult who gave up on Jessie or Lotso. What makes Pixar movies stand out from pretty much everything else is how you can watch them at really any point in your life, and it's almost like you see a different movie. The multi-layered, complex characters and story are what propelled these movies from just good movies into timeless classics. So, what happened? Recently we've had Cars, Cars 2, Brave, The Good Dinosaur, and now Cars 3. Movies that are soulless and lifeless with one-dimensional characters and cookie-cutter stories that the old Pixar would have never had the audacity to tell. I mean, looking on the internet, it's obvious I'm not the only one who feels this way. But what exactly made the old Pixar so good and this new Pixar so bland? Well, to illustrate my point, let's take a quick look at Toy Story. What happens when you go to school and leave your toys by themselves? That's the main plot. Certainly interesting in its own right, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. You see, in Toy Story, the fact that they're toys isn't just some style choice to appeal to kids or whatever. The fact that these characters are toys drives the entire story. There are humans and animals in this world as well, so we get to see how these toys interact with the world around them. The story could only work with toys being toys. In fact, it's because they're toys that the story has the emotional impact it does. We see firsthand how the toys are affected by the actions of people. The scene where we learn Jessie's backstory in Toy Story 2 is immediately relatable to anyone. We've all had that friend or girlfriend, boyfriend, or someone who loved us until one day they just didn't anymore. We've all been through that. Now compare this to the Cars franchise. Right from the beginning, there's no people in this world, just cars. But everything else in the world is exactly the same. Lightning McQueen is a fish out of water who undergoes exactly zero character development. He's the same person at the beginning of the movie as he is at the end, which is completely insufferable and kind of obnoxious. The fact that they're cars means absolutely nothing to the story. They could have just as easily been people driving cars, people riding horses, playing chess. None of the world building means anything in these movies. This is even more true in Cars 2, which unsurprisingly is Pixar's lowest reviewed movie ever. This trend continues in Pixar's recent The Good Dinosaur. While the movie is no doubt Pixar's best looking movie, sort of, it also has, I think, the least interesting story. First of all, in a world as hyper-realistic as the one in Good Dinosaur, why do the actual dinosaurs themselves look like they were drawn by a 5-year-old on bath salts? But that aside, the story is just incoherent, it's bland. Again, we have this world that's only comprised of dinosaurs. Or rather, we have just one random family of dinosaurs, and how they do completely human things for really no particular reason. Just like with Cars, the fact that the movie is about dinosaurs means nothing. It's not about what the modern world would look like if dinosaurs didn't go extinct, it's just what if this random hillbilly family looked like dinosaurs for some reason. This movie could have been done with anything else or anyone else, and it would have been the exact same movie. Now, along with this same idea, you have Brave. To be fair, Brave is not really a bad movie. It's cute and fun and all that, but it's not Pixar. Really, it's kind of the beta version of Frozen in a way. I mean, how many movies have you seen about a spunky, hot-headed princess who doesn't quite fit in and dreams of a bigger life or whatever? It's rote. It's cookie-cutter filler that's not bad, but it's really not particularly good either. Now compare this to my personal favorite Pixar movie, Up. Right from the beginning, the notorious first 10 minutes, the movie grabs you and never lets go. You learn right away why this crotchety old man is the way he is. We understand that behind this scowl, there's just a little boy who wants to go on an adventure. The relationship between Carl and Russell is equally as heartbreaking as it is uplifting. Russell represents the boy that Carl could never be, and also the son he could never have. The duality of the story, the multi-layered relationships between the characters makes a story that is certainly fun and entertaining for kids. I mean, the idea of an old man flying into the air with balloons, that's pretty hilarious. But watching it as an adult, you see your own life in some way or another in Carl. How many of us have given up on a dream or let fires die that maybe we should have stoked just a little bit more? How many times do we look back and think, oh, I wish I could have done this or I should have done that? This is the big difference between the old Pixar and the new one. Pixar movies used to be timeless, and movies like Inside Out have proven that there's still some magic left. But over the last several years, we've just been getting regular, straight kids movies. No multi-layered stories, no emotional journey that parallels our own lives, no moments that make you stop and think and reevaluate yourself, nothing. Now, I hate to be overly cynical, but it really does feel like just some quick cash grabs. Pixar is famous for their 23 rules of storytelling, but I guess they just forgot them or something? But that being said, whatever path Pixar ultimately decides to take will always have the Toy Stories, the Ups, the Wall-E's, the movies that you can go back to at any age and experience a time when the Pixar name really meant something.